Hey you guys, welcome back to another video. If you've never been here before, my name is Jordan and this is a different video for me, so I feel like I need to give myself a quick intro. I make a lot of like fashion content, I make a lot of content like about vintage things, beauty, and I do some lifestyle, but I kind of mostly do that on my vlog channel. So if you're interested in getting to know me more, then you can go ahead and check out that channel over there. I don't even know how to start because I'm not used to getting like this personal. We are here to talk about finally me quitting my 9-to-5. So when this month is over with, I will have not worked a regular job in 5 months. I wrote it down so I could stay organized, so I could remember what I wanted to talk about, so I could remember what you guys asked me about. Pretty much just things that people on my Instagram story told me they were interested in knowing more about. I'm trying to make sure I'm giving what it's supposed to have gave. Let me give you guys a little scoop about what exactly my 9-to-5 was. So I graduated college in 2019, like in December. I started working in my career field in the year of 2020. That already sounds bad, okay? Like, we already know that this is about to go up in flames. The reason why I've been holding off on making this video for so long is mostly because of what I did for a living. I kind of worry that people will look at me a certain way for leaving that job, and that job is a teacher. I taught elementary school. I did 4th grade and 5th grade. I taught the same kids for a full year, so I taught my entire contract year, 1 year. I started teaching in the middle of the year, so that's why I was able to teach them, you know, twice in the 4th and 5th grade because they moved up. Teaching is one of the few careers where you get shamed for things that you shouldn't be shamed for. I feel like people will look at me funny if I say, oh, I left teaching to be a content creator. That it sounds like bad, but let me get into it. Let me give y'all the nitty-gritty, okay? Let me tell y'all the full story. Judge me if you want. I mean, only the man up there can judge me. But if you want to, behind the screen, be Twitter fingers, whatever, go ahead. But I'm just here to share my story and hopefully help other people who I know are going through these same things in different jobs, in the same job as mine. Let's start with that. The main reason I ended up having to quit. So let's start off with how my job started out. So I got straight out of school. I went and I found a job here in my hometown. Soon I'm going to move, and I knew that at the time, and I was like, I really don't want to go off somewhere else when I can just stay home because I know I want to move somewhere better. Now, I intended to stay longer, let me go ahead and say that, but I knew I wanted to teach somewhere close to home so I could stay home, stack up my money. I agreed to a 4th grade teaching position, so I taught math and I taught science. Math is not my favorite subject in the world. It really wasn't too bad in 4th grade. I say that to say, after my 4th grade year, you know, went well, blah, 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 I get to the 5th grade year. Remember, I only did 1 semester, so January to like May. So 2020, January to May, I taught 4th grade. All right, so then after that, came back in August, and I agreed to teach 5th grade, okay? So mind you, these are my same kids that I had in 4th grade, obviously, because they're moving up to 5th grade. So I agreed to teach 5th grade reading and social studies. So I was really excited about this, right? Because reading is my favorite subject, favorite of all time. I told you I wasn't too excited about math. So the fact that I was getting the opportunity to finally teach my favorite subject, I was like, oh yeah. And then it was like, okay, and I get to teach the same kids I had. I love my kids. So heck yeah, like, give me 5th grade, give me reading and social studies, and give me my same kids. I'll take all of that. That sounds like an amazing deal. So as we all know, we returned in the midst of a pandemic, very deep in it. The pandemic was very thick out here, okay? I was really dreading it because of these masks that we were gonna have to wear. And let me tell you, I don't wanna hear anybody complain about wearing a mask to the grocery store, okay? Because I taught all day, 8 hours in a mask. But we're not here for that. We're not here for the pandemic story, teaching in a pandemic. I can make a different video about that if you want. If I do, it'll probably be on my other channel because that has nothing to do with what I do over here. So last minute before I came back to teach the 5th grade in August, I was told something in a meeting. I was told in that meeting right before school, maybe like a week or 2 before school started, that yes, I was going to be teaching 5th grade, true. Yes, I was going to be teaching reading. Yes, I was going to be teaching social studies. And yes, I was also going to teach math and science. Yeah.
Hello. One of you will have to volunteer for some extra work. Goodbye.
Nowadays, teaching is separated. You have different teachers for different subjects. So in our school, and like every other school I've been to in the history of elementary school and higher up, I had a different teacher for different subjects, especially in the 5th grade, right? My partner teacher was actually moving to do virtual teaching, right? Because we needed teachers to go to virtual because some kids were learning from home, some kids weren't allowed to come to school. Understandable. But I was thinking since she was doing that, they were going to bring in somebody else, right? They were not, absolutely not going to get another teacher to teach the other half of 5th grade. So yes, it would be 2 classes normally. No. All those kids are now in my class and all those subjects now belong to me. I'm teaching math, which have you seen math in elementary school lately? Do you know what that looks like? Baby, the math is running circles around what I learned in 5th grade, okay? Math, 5th grade, hard subject to teach. Science, it gets pretty deep. Reading, it's mixed with writing, gets pretty deep. Social studies, and social studies is social studies. Yes, I was giving all of that along with a full class of kids.
In a pandemic.
For starters, I'm mad when I get there because I don't have room for all of these kids in the classroom. We were supposed to be 6 feet apart. No, that's all I'm gonna say. I had way too many kids, way too many subjects. Not to mention, you guys that know me over here, what else was I doing at the time? Content creation. I was doing YouTube. This is what my life looked like. Every day, Monday through Friday, I'm teaching, obviously. I wake up at 6 a.m. and I go to the school and I teach all the subjects, blah, 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 blah. And you know, if it ended there, you know, we wouldn't have such a big issue. But the thing about teaching, I have to mention this because it's relevant. The thing about teaching is this the job that just don't stop. And I was told that, okay? I knew that before I went into teaching. But I was not told that they were gonna give me an entire 5th grade class and all subjects that exist in elementary school. They did not tell me that when I was getting ready to graduate from college, okay? So I'm coming home. I grade all the papers that I need to grade that needed to be graded for that day, and I have to prepare the lessons for the next day, okay? Every single day. So it's not anymore where I'm coming home and I'm preparing math and science and that's it. I'm preparing math, I'm preparing science, I'm preparing reading, I'm preparing social studies every day. Then bring in YouTube and Instagram that I do because I was doing like some brand work then and there. You have to understand, I worked really hard to get to where I am on YouTube. The consistency is what like got me to where I am. So if I would have just like flopped and fell off, you know, it wouldn't be where it is today. I'd lose all my subscribers probably. My views would definitely be in the toilet. Not saying they're just bomb now, but it's just not something I was willing to sacrifice. It was like, this is my passion. And when you're passionate about something, you know, you don't want to stop doing it. Okay, my bad, y'all. So I actually ended up having to switch to my phone because if you follow my channel, you know my camera is acting crazy and I just don't have time. But it's okay. All in all, like, to keep it short, I was given the job of 2 teachers and 1 person. Mind you, if you've been listening to the story, you know I'm a first-year teacher. First year, like I was coming into my 2nd semester of teaching, period. And I come home and I try to record content on the weekends. Now, mind you, my teaching job still didn't stop on the weekends. That's when I have to actually lesson plan. I was grading papers again on the weekend and I was trying to capture all of my content on the weekend. So all in all, I think we can gather in our heads that I was a very stressed out person. I had no downtime. I was really tired all the time. I did not get enough sleep. I looked terrible. I was getting wrinkles in my forehead. Literally, I was getting a wrinkle in my forehead. It's actually gone now, but it was forming, okay? I was stressed. I didn't have to myself time, which I feel is very important even now that I don't have that job. But I just think everybody should have some time to like hang out with their friends, hang out with their family, you know, have me time. I didn't have that time. And I know some people may think, well, Jordan, again, like you didn't have to do YouTube. Baby, I promise you, without that, I still would have been, because there were weekends where I just wouldn't do it. That brings me to part 2, and that was when I finally made my decision. So let me kind of tell you like my mind state, like how I was feeling by this point. At the end of September, this is when I was really thinking about like, Jordan, like this is a lot, like you really can't take this. This is literally killing you. This is literally taking like years off of your life. If you had downtime, you'd probably be depressed. Like, seriously, I promise you guys, if I didn't have like that many things on my to-do list at the time, I would have been depressed. I would have literally been in a state of depression. No joke, not even being funny. I just didn't have time to sit around and be depressed because that's how much I had to move. So instead of depression, more so on my vlog channel, I talked to you guys about anxiety. Anxiety was for me. Anxiety was going through the roof. It's not something I realized until after I got out of teaching, but that situation right there drove my anxiety through the roof. It's something I still have to deal with today. Mental health aside for a second, I can talk about that another time. I was in my classroom one day and I was talking to one of my teacher friends, and I basically like just told her, I was telling her everything I was going through, and she saw me every weekend, or not every weekend, but every day, and was like asking me how I was doing and stuff, and I'm just like, you know, I'm not doing great. It was to the point I was complaining like every day. My family had to hear about it all the time. They'll tell you they were really tired of hearing about it. My boyfriend had to hear about it all the time. He wouldn't tell me, but if I ask him today, he'll tell me he was tired of it, but he was just trying to be there for me. Like there was just not a bright side of anything, you know. I was really struggling. I actually came one day and I just sat down and I was talking to her, and I literally broke down into tears. And I'm not a big like crier. Like I'm not gonna cry during this video or anything like that, so don't worry. That day I literally broke down into tears and I was like, I just don't know what to do. And I was like, I'm really thinking about leaving. I have this whole YouTube thing going for me. I make money on Instagram. I also have my vintage shop that I started during quarantine. So I'm like, I have things to fall back on. I've been saving money because if you don't know, I live with my parents. I think I mentioned that earlier, but I live with my parents because we gotta save money. So I was like, yeah, I mean, I have that to fall back on. I'm wondering if I should take it. Things just keep coming up that just make me feel like God is telling me, you know, Jordan, go ahead and leap. Take that leap of faith. And so yeah, I shared that with her, and you know, she was really supportive of my decision. She agreed. She could see that, like, you know, I was going through a whole lot, but you know, it wasn't all on her acceptance, it was on mine as well. I was going back and forth constantly with it in my head. I wasn't sure if I wanted to leave teaching and just try content creation for many reasons. One of those reasons being, of course, money. Let me tell you now, content creation, it's difficult, okay? And I'm very small. Like as a content creator, it's not like, you know, brands are beating my door down to like work with me. Not saying I don't get any work, but like at the time it was just like, you know, it's sometimes I had things to rely on, but nothing was like, oh yeah, for sure, Jordan, you're gonna be so good, you know? So it was a big leap of faith. So that brings me to another point. So somebody asked me what my family thought about it. Like, I guess like what my parents thought about it. Because you gotta think, I went to school for like 4.5 years to teach. They didn't pay fully for my education, but they did put like a big chunk of money into it. So, you know, how did they feel about me, you know, basically leaving a career, a traditional career, you know, that's not gonna go anywhere. There's always gonna be teachers. Leaving that to do something like so non-traditional, something so not sure that you're like even gonna be able to make a living. So my dad, he kind of just, ever since maybe college, he kind of just lets me go with the flow. He doesn't worry too much. But my mom, she is, sorry, I have like lint on my nose, so that's why I keep doing this. But my mom, she is a lot more, you know, she's very traditional, and she's always wanted me to go to school for something that she knew would always exist, something I would never have to struggle in finding a job in. So of course, being an influencer, content creator, not what she had in mind, okay? But she did know that I was struggling, and I think at that point she was so tired of hearing about it, she was willing to let me do anything. All in all, my family was actually very supportive of my decision. She was actually happy when I finally decided, and she was very happy when it was getting real, when I was coming to the point of leaving, because she just saw how much like I had to go through. She was tired of hearing about it, but most of all, like my mental health and physical health, really, because I wasn't working out either, and that's something I'm very big on. I do it again now, but all of that was going in the toilet. She was like, yeah, you need to go. It came to December and it was time for me to go. Y'all, it literally hurt so bad. It hurt so badly. Of course, I did not want to leave my babies. They were not complete angels all the time, which sometimes added to my stress. They're kids, so I mean, that's expected. But yeah, we're not gonna say they didn't add to it. But yeah, all in all, I absolutely love my kids to death. They know that. And so yeah, they made it really hard to make that decision, but I did have to do what was best for me. And let me say that for you as well. Like, if you're in that situation right now, or any situation where you just feel like it's like draining you, you always have to do what's best for you. Honestly, you have to be selfish, because nobody's gonna look out for you like you're gonna look out for you. Literally, nobody is as worried about you, nobody, as you are worried about you. So if you don't look out for you, nobody's gonna look out for you. So in this situation, I had to be selfish. I had to think about myself, because like I said, like I'm literally gonna need therapy to undo what was did in that semester. I'm not saying quit your job, you know, we'll talk about that a little bit in a second, but you know, think about you, do what you can for you. So yeah, leaving in December was really, really hard. I really cherished my last day of school. I went through Christmas break. I basically was, I guess, unemployed, besides, you know, me being a YouTuber, me being like doing content creation and owning a vintage shop. Or I guess I could say I was an entrepreneur fully at that time. But I didn't do anything when I finally left that school. I didn't do anything. I sat around like all Christmas break and probably like the first week of January, because I was so tired. I just wanted to sit down. I didn't want to think about YouTube. I didn't want to think about doing a fashion video. I didn't want to think about posting Instagram pictures. I just didn't want to think about it. I just wanted to breathe, because I finally had time to breathe. Let me just say, it has been a bumpy road. They say entrepreneurship is a roller coaster. They say the highs can be very high and the lows can be very low, and you really don't know what you're gonna expect next until you get to that point where you're about to dive. And it has not been a perfect journey. Do I regret? I feel like this is a big question that I should answer. Do I regret leaving my 9-to-5 in order to do content creating full-time? No, I don't regret it. Majority of the people, I can't remember the percentage, but majority of the people who go into entrepreneurship and they leave like their 9-to-5 job, even if they make less money, they say that they never want to trade in working for themselves and like just the relief that it gives. They never want to trade that in for going back to a 9-to-5 with a consistent paycheck. Speaking of paycheck, you know, that's something I didn't really touch on, but I feel like, you know, it is important. The elephant in the room, teaching. Teaching does not pay a lot. They're not dirt poor, but they are literally not getting paid close to how much they should be getting paid. You feel what I'm saying? You just really won't know unless you are a teacher or start teaching. You won't even know if you are just in an internship, because I did not know until I started actually teaching. So I'm not gonna say that, like, you know, I've just been missing the paychecks. That's the thing about being your own boss. There can be months where you make 3 times what you made in your regular paying 9-to-5 job. You can make 3 times that much, and then there will be times where you'll make half of that. Okay, So the main thing really is just budgeting, like a lot of budgeting. That's another thing I don't want to get like too into. If you guys want more videos or me to go into depth about any of the aspects that I'm talking about, please comment below, because I just don't want to make it too long because I already talk a lot and it's probably like gonna be long anyways. So yeah, I don't regret, you know, leaving. It hurt, it really did. Do I miss my kids? Heck yeah, that's literally the only thing I miss. I'm very happy with what I do now. It's not always, you know, daisies and roses for sure. Some aspects that I love about it, like number one, I'm in charge of myself. Well, kind of. I actually just recently signed with management, but even still, like, you're still pretty much in charge of yourself. I'm still an entrepreneur. I just don't handle my emails and go seek work out. I get to choose my days off. This weekend, I'm actually going out of town. I'm taking a little road trip, leaving on Friday. Not something I would have been able to do if I was still at my 9 to 5. There's times where I make more money than I would have made in teaching. There's no cap. There's a cap to your 9 to 5. There's no cap to you owning your own business. The biggest one for me is actually being able to have time to do the things I love to do. I went from not reading at all to being able to read every day. Like mental health, I'm just able to check on that like so much better now. I really need to seek therapy, honestly, but you know, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, it's just been like a huge breather for me. All of that is just, it's priceless, you know, it's so worth it. But with that being said, if you're looking for me to tell you, you know, quit right now or don't quit right now, I'm not gonna tell you that. That's really up to you. That's up to your specific situation. I can share with you guys more if you want to know like how I prepared to actually quit. If you're unhappy, you really, you know, you need to take a step back and you need to ask yourself, do I want to do this for the next 10 years? Okay, I don't. Okay, but when am I going to make my move? Because you're not getting any younger, you know, so whatever you can do, go ahead and start putting that into motion. Forget what other people think of you. Forget, you know, if people are not gonna like it. If you feel like you have something to share with the world, whether it be YouTube, whether it be some business that you sell things on, start doing that while you're in your 9 to 5, because that's what I did. I started even before I started my 9 to 5. I started at the end of college, like last semester of college. That's when I started. Don't just sit there miserable. Do something about it. Please don't just up and quit your 9 to 5 because somebody on YouTube told you to do so. Be prepared. I was prepared. Did I know what was gonna happen? No, not really, but I had a plan. As of right now, going forward, I'm just gonna continue, you know, making my content, continue working on my YouTube channel. It just made sense for me to make the move. Fashion is just something that I've just always enjoyed. It's always something I've loved. It's always been a way that I've expressed myself, and fashion, ironically, is also the same reason that I've been condemned. When I was going through school. I won't get too deep into that. You guys are literally the reason why I was able to leave such a stressful situation. So I thank you guys for people who support me, people who comment on my videos and like them, watch everything I post. I really appreciate you guys. Like, I really do it for y'all. I do it for me too because it makes me happy, but I really, like, I'm here for y'all. Like, y'all don't even understand. Like, y'all like this to me. And yeah, I'm just saving up to be able to, you know, move where I want to move. If you guys are interested in like seeing more of me, following my journey more, like I said, I do have a vlog channel. Show you guys like what I'm going through, what I'm dealing with, what's on my mind, but also the highs as well, not just lows. But I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. I hope I didn't bore you to death. It's a long story. It's a deep story. It's a big story of my life. So it takes a long time to share. But I will see you guys next time on my channel. As always, love y'all. Bye.